Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And it looks like Canada is about to have one of the busiest holiday shopping seasons in years because our Prime Minister has basically incentivized everybody to do their Christmas shopping not before December 14th. So you basically have less than 2 weeks to buy all of the things you need for the holiday season. So expect shopping centers to be pretty busy during that final week before Christmas. Of course, I'm talking about the GST tax break that is going to last 2 months between December 14th, 2024 to February 15th next year. This was just announced this past week. So in this video, I'll go over the list of exempt goods in detail, how this policy will affect the economy, and the best way you can take advantage of that 2-month period. Let's go over the list first so you are aware of what items will not be charged the 5% GST during this 2-month period. You have prepared meals that you can find in grocery stores, all restaurant food, whether you eat in or take out, sweets and other items which normally all have GST unless you buy them in bulk. And then you have alcohol. So if you go into a liquor store, you'll be able to buy beer without the extra GST. Now, it's not all alcoholic drinks. It's only beer, wine, and mixed alcohol that is below 7% alcohol by volume. So it is kind of nuanced for that one. But if you're primarily a beer and wine drinker, then this is good for you. Liquor boards across the country should really like this move because alcohol sales across the country have been dropping, and people in all provinces are drinking less this year than in the previous years. So maybe we'll see a temporary uptick in alcohol purchases with this tax policy. Moving on, we have junk food, so candies, chips, other types of snacks, ice cream and other desserts in the frozen section, and candy bars. So that pretty much covers all of the junk food that would be purchased by most people. And then we move on to children's goods. So you have toys, Legos, action figures, clothing for kids, including shoes, as well as diapers, car seats. So this is great for families because often children's things can be expensive. Then you have video games and peripherals, but it's only for physical copies, which is kind of weird in this day and age. But you can't go on Steam and purchase a digital copy of a game and not pay GST. It's only for physical copies, so you'll most likely have to go to a Best Buy or something. But it's not only video games, it's also board games, card games, puzzles, as well as newspapers and certain types of books, which includes, I think, most books, but not magazines and interactive books such as coloring books. You still have to pay the GST on those. And finally, Christmas trees will be GST exempt. However, the decorations you put on the Christmas tree, you still have to pay tax on those. And I bet there are going to be people who are just going to buy the tree and not decorate it. So that's the list of things you can expect to not pay GST on after December 14th when you go shopping. And because this tax takes effect on the same day across the country, you might see a big lull in shopping at the beginning of December. And then December 14th is when a lot of that pent-up demand gets released, and you have a very crowded shopping mall. So other than changing people's shopping habits, how else will this tax policy affect the economy? Well, there is the fiscal aspect from the government's perspective. This is estimated to cost the federal government $1.6 billion during these 2 months of uncollected tax revenue, which works out to be about 4% of our current annual deficit. So that's not too much. If you're wondering about a per capita calculation, what they're basically saying from the $1.6 billion in lost revenue is that they expect each person in Canada, on average, to spend about $800 on goods that would normally have the GST. So if you want to save more money on GST than the average Canadian, just spend more than $800 on these things in the list here between December 14th and February 15th. Alongside this change, Trudeau is also giving most working Canadians a $250 one-time check. So giving people free money combined with a sales tax break will definitely have an inflationary impact. So for Q4 of this year and Q1 of next year, you might expect an uptick in the consumer price index. Incidentally, this might also affect the Bank of Canada's decision. So instead of cutting by 0.5% next time, they might only cut by 0.25% because of those inflationary pressures coming down the pike in the next couple of months. Also, bond rates, like the 5-year yield, may be going up, and this means for the next maybe 1 or 2 months, the fixed mortgage rate is more likely to go higher than it is to go lower. So if you're in the market for a home, it might be a good idea to lock in your rates right now because the economy is about to get a stimulus injection So, overall, the impact to your personal lives should not be that dramatic because this is a temporary tax break. But there's a few things you can do to maximize your GST savings during this tax holiday period. The first thing you can do is make a list of things that you need to buy over the next little while. It's probably best to do this in a spreadsheet so it's easier to organize the individual goods. And this way, you'll have a good idea of what you need, where you need to go to get them, and you can have a plan ahead of time before this tax break takes effect on December 14th. And then once you have that list, the next thing you can do is when you're doing your grocery shopping or just shopping in general, keep an eye on anything you see that is from your list, and especially for the large ticket items, and see what their regular price is before December 14th. You can take a picture or just write a note in the spreadsheet, like the price beside the item that you want, like video game consoles, for example, because there may be some stores that will try to sneakily increase the price by 5%, which is how much GST is, and hope that their customers won't notice it. And then once the GST comes back in February, the marked up price will probably remain at that elevated level. This isn't illegal to do, and the stores are not going to say they've increased the price. So it's up to the consumers to protect themselves and be aware of that sort of information. And then during the tax exempt period, maybe just go to stores that had their prices remain the same. And then, of course, during this period, you want to stock up on things that you know you'll need for the next little while, especially for things that can keep, for example, alcohol and diapers. So I have a 2-year-old. I know he's going to need diapers and training pants and clothing. So I might want to buy diapers and clothing that are maybe 1 or 2 sizes bigger than him so that he can grow into those over the next year or so. You don't want to wait until the last minute to buy everything, because if everyone waits until the beginning of February to stock up on all the things they need, then those things might run out before the tax holiday ends on February 15th. So for durable goods, it's better to get it early than to risk not having inventory later on. So that's it for now. Good luck this holiday shopping season, and have fun saving money on the GST sales tax. I've never seen anything like this before, but Superstore did try out some no tax day sales where they had like one day where there's no sales tax and the store was packed. So we'll have to see how things shape out, but I do expect there to be a lot of crowded shopping centers this upcoming month. So stay safe out there. Good luck with all your finances, and I'll talk to you in the next one.